genuine, genuine. And this is from Greg Fisame's IG reel. Now, Aaron Mack loves this reel by 90s baby Greg Fisame, in which, with the Dua Lipa Da Baby song Levitating, he professes that he greatly prefers, quote, genuine in between feminine dudes over, quote, uber masculine dudes, end quote. Now, Aaron Mack is pleased to see that we seem to be more affirming of all people now compared to when he first entered the dating world in college in the early 2000s. Now, Greg Fisame's use of the word genuine made Aaron Mack wonder if society had absolutely no expected roles for any human, regardless of physical gender, might all humans naturally settle more comfortably somewhere in the middle of the role spectrum with periodic overlap? Why and why not? Okay, go ahead, Dari.
Okay. But I was saying I kind of feel like um you know what, I so want to give mankind the benefit of the doubt, but the more I think that thought, the more my heart and my mind tells me that that's just not the way to go. So I'm going to be completely honest and say I do not feel like there's ever going to be a day where mankind will fall somewhere in the middle of the spectrum role, simply because there's always going to be someone that's going to think outside of the box, or so they're going to think, that's going to change roles for everyone, just as it did in the beginning of the world. So I honestly, I don't see that happening, simply because I just don't have that. I don't have strong faith in mankind. That's how I feel about it. But I'm gonna because I don't know. I want to see how everybody else feels about this. Let's see what Rocky thinks.
Well, about
Um,
Rocky.
I mean, for me, I would say personally, um, when I was, in my younger years or whatever, I was more into, like, I didn't want nobody. I really didn't want nobody feminine at the time, because I felt, I was just like, it's gonna be too much attention or whatever. And then it's like, shit, motherfuckers finding out anyway. Now it's just like, damn, I might as well be myself. But then I felt like I had to be a little more harder and whatnot because where I came from. But now it's just like, the weirdest thing is I'm dealing with somebody who's a little more in between. Like, it's not super feminine and it's not uber masculine. It's just like right, like it has its moments. And I'm just
Right.
like, okay, it's different. It's different. So I think it's just what you want for yourself personally. You know what I mean? You pick and, like, I guess what I can tell my younger self is, like, it's okay for them to have certain type of aspects or whatever. But I don't think my younger self would know who I would have became today, where I'm more like,
Right.
I'm confident in getting a little more confident in myself when it comes to, when you're dealing with the right person that can make you just kind of think differently now. You know what I mean? Instead of just being it like Dari. When you a hopeless romantic, you stay in your head,
Right.
but when
Absolutely.
you actually start seeing what it is, and when you start waking up and start realizing what you thought you had before wasn't the shit. You know what I mean? Like, you thought you had filet mignons and it was really kibbles and bits. So say that.
That's why you got to stay
You're right
woke.
about
So
it. Right.
No, I like that answer. That was deep. So let's go, Troy. What? How do you feel about this?
Um, society itself, like when it comes to mankind, like you said, I sort of feel like even if there was a magic wand and a little fairy that was riding around and I could just go like this, there would still be one that would find a way that'll try to be like Lucifer, get cast out of the place. Because it's
I
gonna be
love
one
somebody.
Joker that's gonna try to be a Hitler, that's gonna try to take control. There's gonna always be one. You know, we can keep going as a history book, you know, with a whole bunch of them in there. But I feel like when it comes to mankind, that real talk, like history, the way history has shown us, it is what it is. Like, you know, even if we had a chance to be on one page, they won't let us. They've been trying to hold Black people down for so many years. They don't want us to know the knowledge that they know because they don't want us to be able to have the same success they have and be on the same level that they're on because that we're not the minority anymore. We're equal, which is why they created this whole Declaration of Independence, but we're not equal. They don't want us to be equal. The longer they keep us not from being equal, the more control they have over us. Because how they control us is with fear, which is what they're doing now with the pandemic. Yes, I said pandemic because they're playing this shit to us. To do this to us, why we dealing with what we're dealing with, why there's different variations coming out now, why the medicines that they put out yesterday don't work today. So, you know, it's all part of, you know, the bigger picture and why mankind can't ultimately be at that level of balance and finding a way with it because there's always going to be one, like Dari said. Yeah.
There's always gonna be that one. Okay. So Quincy, you with us? You need me to refresh you on the question?
Just refresh on the question again.
So the question was, if society had absolutely no expected roles for humans, might all humans naturally settle more comfortably somewhere in the middle of the role spectrum with periodic overlap? Why or why not?
It's a while now. Y'all actually said, well, I actually took all my answers because I was thinking of back in the day when my great grandmother said, you know, there's a thing about society. Remember this, Quincy? You are separate but equal. And I looked at her and said, why do you say that, Grandma? Why do you say I'm separate but equal? And then I understood while growing up and my challenges of being who I was, being a queer man. Then on top of being a queer man, being a Black queer man, I was going to like these spaces, the white spaces of, because before I ever did healthcare, I was a tech person. So I'm going to these Caucasian, we'll say white, but more Caucasian spaces and showing up and they saying, oh, well, you know, and I had one person, like one white boy told me, like, Quincy, you will never be where I'm at or whatever. And I was like, and yeah. Mankind will never. It's never gonna happen. Never. It's never gonna happen. Like my grandma said, the separate but equal. And I was like,
Wow, he told you you would never be where he is.
He told me, this is because people think, well, because people, especially nowadays, like I was having a talk with my best friend, that's like, it's too, like, you got to think that when they think of Black people, and I heard this from a Caucasian lady, she said, President Obama got in office, so they think of Black people different. They think of Black people, well, they're going to be like President Obama, and they're not going to do A, B, and C. But then she said, I have Black in my family, so I understand that there's the Negroes that's out in the street. She's like, I'm not gonna call them the N-word, but you know, I'm gonna say Negro, the Negro Americans out in the street that want to be in jail. Then you got the ones that want to escape from where they're at. Then you got the ones that will be at, and they're white. They don't look back at saying they Black. Now they're saying they're white. You got those three type of classes. And as we see, and as a white and as a Caucasian lady, as I see, I'm gonna think of you as the three kind of classes. The only class that I'm really seeing that is the last class. The last class is saying, I want to be flashy. I want to not have nothing, no generational wealth, no nothing. I want to stay poor and stay on food stamp and do the government thing, not being smart. You had the Black men in office. She said always prepare. We had the Black men in office that was doing well for the country. So I expect y'all to do better as a race and as a minority race too, because y'all do mix into races and make other races bad.
Wow.
Yeah. Say it like that. Shit.
So you know,
right.
Right.
Look, and that makes me think back to the LGBTQ plus community because in being feminine, it's like you're grouped in with people who everybody consider feminine. And me, on the other hand, I consider myself feminine, but there are just things that other feminine people do that, well, I put it this way, I consider myself feminine, but I'm not flamboyant. So I like and don't I don't dislike being grouped with those people. It's just to the point of where I don't like being grouped with those people because now it comes to a point where I have to defend
Right.
myself to you and make it seem like I don't like this title or I don't like this when I love everything about myself and my community. It's just I have to let you know that you're grouping me with someone and I'm an individual. So I completely understand what
You know what
where
I
you're coming
learned. I
from with
think
that.
for me, what I learned with flamboyant, what mean is having a big personality. I think because when you know what I mean, it was just like I remember somebody had described me as flamboyant, and I'm just like, isn't that feminine? Like whatever. But I've learned that really when you got a very like out of this world personality, and you just like, what I mean, just being yourself and just being at your highest light, it's just like, you just letting it go, letting it free, just being you. You know what I mean? Do what you doing you. But you got some people that I don't know. I guess it's like when you flamboyant. I think they link it to femininity, and then it's just like it's a bad thing.
Right.
It's created to be a bad thing.
Well, see, when people call you flamboyant the time, and you got to think of the heterosexual world, they think, like you said, big personality. Now, if they know that you are in the LGBT umbrella, that's when they're going to start grouping you and go, well, you're a boy that play with makeup, so you feminine. And flamboyant, you extra flamboyant because you're a boy that plays with and makeup. They don't say that you do makeup, that you play in makeup. And flamboyant,
Right. That's a Midwest thing.
It's an Ohio thing to say you playing makeup, but until you hear the boys that do that, but we say that all the time, like you playing makeup, like okay, that's our code word saying you flamboyant, like okay, you playing makeup, we see you.
Okay.
Well, we're breaking it down today. We learned a lot of new stuff
So,
on today. All right.
okay, we got down to the wire on some things today, huh?
Right. Well,
Okay.
speaking of wire, we got this special toss up here that, special little something different that we've never experienced before here on the Homo Talk Show that our show producers bring into the show today. So be ready to inspect it because we don't know how this is going to happen, but there are some cards that getting ready to predict our next topic. So, Aaron, without further ado, take it away. Let the homos, the special PPP, let's talk tonight. Let's talk tonight.
All right.